This is the all-new, completely redesigned 2019 Infiniti QX50. It's bigger, it's bolder, and it's got a great new interior, truly first-rate with awesome materials and a sleek contemporary look. There's also lots of standard tech which should win over some younger buyers. But by far the biggest change, and what I think is most important for this QX50, is underneath the bodywork, including a brand new turbocharged engine and a continuously variable transmission. So how does it all work? Well, Infiniti has brought me along to wine country in southern Ontario to find out. So where does this new QX50 fit in the pantheon of premium mid-size SUVs and crossovers? Well, it's going to compete against the likes of X3 from BMW, of course the Q5 from Audi, then we've got the MDX from Acura, and a whole host of others from Germany, from Japan, and from the United States who are scrapping over a segment that has absolutely exploded over the past 4 or 5 years. This is a critical vehicle for Infiniti. They brought this point up over and over again last night in our technical briefing. They put a lot of effort into this car. They need it to be a home run already. They're getting some really stellar numbers there. They think within a year this is going to be their #1 selling vehicle, and I do not doubt them on that. So a lot has changed. It's a completely new vehicle. It's a bigger vehicle, it's a more practical vehicle, but it's slightly lighter, it's more feature-laden, and has a completely new drivetrain. Engine is brand new and really sophisticated. We'll talk about that momentarily. And they've got a new transmission as well. So let's start getting into why I think this is a big improvement over the outgoing QX50. First, let's talk about how this thing looks. I really like it. I like the fact that it fits in neatly with the rest of the Infiniti lineup. It has some really interesting character lines and curves, especially in person more so than in images and video. And I love the new LED headlights that are standard equipment up front. They look really sharp. Now on the inside, big changes as well. We have a really nice mix of materials, sort of microfiber suede. Leather comes with the base model. We've got real open pore wood here that's nice to the touch. And overall, it's a smart place to be. Now, one thing I'm not excited about is the infotainment system. They've simply passed forward the existing infotainment system from previous older Infiniti models, and that's a problem for me. I'm not a fan of this setup. It is 2 screens. The lower screen is sort of options and Bluetooth connectivity and so on. The upper screen is your traditional infotainment map and navigation settings and so on. And I find it's a little last gen. It doesn't look that attractive, especially in contrast to everywhere else in here, which is beautiful. In terms of operation, it's not that hot, a bit laggy, a bit sort of last gen. That's what it tells me. And again, it's a shame because that sits in contrast to the rest of this vehicle inside and out, which is very sophisticated, very technologically advanced. So a bit of a bummer there. The big talking point with this new QX50 is the introduction of a complex 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. This VC turbo, as Infiniti calls it, generates 268 horsepower and 280 foot-pounds of torque. Yes, that's down on power versus the outgoing V6, but there's slightly more torque, and it's available at a much more usable part of the rev range. However, the real story here is that the engine can effectively vary the geometry of the combustion chamber, which alters the compression ratio. The VC turbo has a control shaft that pivots slightly, which shortens the reach of the cylinder. The result, compression that can change from 8-to-1 to 14-to-1 in a heartbeat. See, turbos love low compression, so when your right foot hits the loud pedal, this new VC turbo will automatically decrease the compression. When you're coasting around town, not in need of full power, the compression is automatically increased, thus offering maximum fuel burning efficiency. What's neat about this system is it's entirely seamless. You'd never know it was any different from a standard 4-cylinder engine. It also lacks a balance shaft, something that's usually required with inline 4s to help with NVH problems. But here Infiniti's included an active engine mount system which helps more or less even out vibrations below perceptible levels. So what's the result of all this crazy technology? Well, power delivery is smooth in regular driving situations and there's only a marginal amount of turbo lag low down in the rev range. It's not a fast vehicle by any means, but it's definitely class competitive. Fuel economy, on the other hand, is not class competitive, it's class leading, coming in at an estimated 9.0 liters per 100 kilometers in a combined cycle. This is an impressive 30% improvement over the outgoing V6. No dynamic dampers available on this QX50. We have good old-fashioned fixed suspension, which means one setting. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing because they've done a great job tuning the suspension. In my short period driving this vehicle today, about, well, let's call it 2.5 hours now, I've really kind of fallen in love with how smooth and comfortable this car is, whether it's on a little bit of a back road with some uneven pavement or the highway. It's equally quiet. There is a little bit of body roll. You'd expect it because I do think it's meant to be just a little on the soft side, and I think it's just exactly what you'd expect. Most people in this segment are looking for something with a spirited character, but not necessarily a hard edge character. You don't want anything that's going to compromise ride quality. So this still gives you some fun turn in. It manages the body roll. It feels composed over bumps, but it doesn't sacrifice that quality. We have a new transmission for 2019. Out goes the old 6-speed automatic transmission. In goes a CVT. And I can hear some people groaning out there, but I tell you, it actually works pretty well, especially with this power plant. You can row through the gears, simulated gears that is, by using the paddles on the back of the steering wheel, but I never do that. Stick it in drive and go, and it does the trick. It doesn't have a lot of whine. It works pretty seamlessly, so I think they've done a good job on that unit. So does it all come together in a package that makes sense? Yes, I absolutely think that this is a pretty solid vehicle all around. They're going up against some serious competition. The Q5, the X3, the GLC from Mercedes-Benz. These are tough competitors with established vehicles, and they already have the leg up on Infiniti as a brand. So it's going to be an uphill battle, but they've brought their best stuff here. This new engine is sophisticated, it's quiet, it's composed, it delivers good power and better than average fuel economy. My only question is this: is that extra savings at the fuel pump really worth the 20-year development cycle? Are mainstream buyers really interested in this technology? I don't know. I guess time will tell. The CVT makes sense. It works with the vehicle. I think it fits with the character, and as a unit, it's a success here in this application. Without a doubt, I think the biggest draw for me to this, and I think for a lot of young families, is going to be the size. A little bit of extra size, great practical use of the interior space. There's 880 liters behind the rear seat, which is class leading. So you know when you buy a QX50, you're getting performance, fuel economy, and practicality. Finally, I like the way it looks inside and out. I really don't like this infotainment system. I'm bummed that they've stuck with this older unit, but everything else, it looks beautiful. It looks a little bit different than everything else you've got on the road, especially if you get the optional red paint and these nice sort of graphite colored 20-inch wheels. I like it. It's a snazzy looking package. Pricing starts at $44,500 and includes all-wheel drive, 19-inch wheels, an LED headlight system, leather seating surface, power liftgate, navigation, blind spot warning, collision warning systems, and a huge panoramic roof. There are 4 additional lines available, topping out with the Autograph trim, which includes upgraded quilted leather with extended microfiber trim, 20-inch wheels, a premium Bose sound system, expanded safety tech including ProPilot semi-autonomous driving technology, a heads-up display unit, rear sunshades, plus a wide range of expanded convenience features, all for a very competitive $57,990. So this new QX50 may have an uphill battle facing more established rivals. However, great fuel economy, a strong interior, excellent cargo capacity, and very competitive price point make this a must-try if you're in the market for a premium compact SUV.